back again to my channel, and now I'm going to watch a video called Fate Lore, The Tale of Queen Maid by Otaku Daikun, so let's check it out.
During the Ulster cycle of Celtic mythology, Queen Maeve is born as the daughter of Ohad Feidlech, the High King of Ireland. From the moment of her birth, Maeve is considered to have an ideal body, like that of a goddess. She is the latest in a long line of Irish queens, destined for glory. Her inheritance is complicated, however, when Ohad slays Fachna Fahak in battle. As an apology to Fachna's son, King Crohor of Ulster, Ohad offers him Maeve's hand in marriage. Crohor and Maeve consummate their marriage, bearing the King of Ulster a son. Despite this, their marriage is fraught with incompatibility. Maeve returns to her father, who in turn offers Crohor another of his daughters, Enye, who also becomes pregnant. Maeve is enraged by this and murders her sister by drowning her in a stream. Regardless, the child is born through cesarean section as a boy named Forbida, who, naturally, grows up despising Maeve for her treachery. Overlooking this atrocity, when Ohad deposes Connacht's current king, Tini MacConry, he puts Maeve into power in his place as Queen of Connacht. Despite being deposed, Tini maintains a share of the throne as Maeve's lover. Tragedy strikes when both Ulster and Connacht assemble at Tara. Perhaps in retaliation for Enye's murder, King Crohor rapes Maeve, sparking a war. To defend his people in the honor of his wife, Tini fights Crohor in a duel to the death, but loses during combat. In his place, Connacht's people are protected by Ohad Dala during their retreat. In honor of his bravery, Maeve takes Ohad Dala as her husband and next king of Connacht. This is not as luxurious as it sounds, however. While Maeve puts herself forward as pure, neat, and clean, she is both unscrupulous and unfaithful. This clashing of qualities encapsulates Maeve's devious personality. In addition to treasures, Maeve is hopelessly enamored by strong men. She especially enjoys men who will not yield to her, as she finds the pleasure worth the pain. Regardless of marriage, she will lust for men so long as they are without fear, meanness, or jealousy. Yes, she demands her lovers to be open to her infidelity. This provokes rumors that, in bed, she cannot be sated by any less than 7 men per night. During her marriage to Ohad Dala, Maeve meets Alil Makmata, the chief of her bodyguards. They have an affair, prompting a bloody confrontation between the two men. Alil slays the king in battle, taking over the role of Maeve's husband, as well as the king of Connacht. Maeve bears 7 sons for Alil, all of whom she names Manya, after a druid predicts this is the name of the man who will kill Crohor. Clearly, Maeve's hatred for Crohor and his kingdom of Ulster is strong. Conveniently, when many of Crohor's finest warriors leave Ulster in anger, Maeve is more than happy to take them in. Among them is Fergus MacRoic, who defects to Connacht to become Maeve's lover. As she beds with the great hero of the Red Branch, she is tempted by the opportunity to wage war against Ulster. Her love for treasure ultimately tips the scale on the side of destruction. On occasion, Maeve and her husband compete against each other as rivals over wealth and status. Because they are equal in status, birthright, and power, they resort to appraising their belongings. While their possessions are mostly of equal value, Alil possesses a white-horned bull, considered to be far more valuable than Maeve could account for. She refuses to be outmatched and sends her messengers to search Ireland for an equally treasured bull. Her search leads her to the Brown Bull of Cooley, owned by Dara of Cooley and Ulster. In exchange for the bull, Maeve offers money, land, and sexual favors. As they meet over fine drink, Dara nearly accepts the offer, until Maeve declares that she will simply claim the bull by force should he refuse. The threat angers him, prompting him to outright deny her request. Both Fergus's wishes and Maeve's envy begin the Ulster cycle's grandest war, the cattle raid of Cooley. She prepares for battle against Ulster and learns of their greatest weakness, the curse of Macha. King Crohor once challenged Macha, a pregnant woman from the Irish otherworld, to a race. After one of his men boasted of her speed, Crowhor insisted on proving the superiority of his horses and chariot, forcing her to run despite the children in her womb. With her own life on the line, Maka sprinted the course while enduring labor pains, managing to win by the width of her belly. After the race, she painfully delivered her 2 stillborn children. Recalling how none of Ulster's men defended her against Crowhor's insistence, Maka decided to curse all of Ulster's warriors, to feel the agony of labor, and to lose their strength whenever they need it most. Maeve knows that no grown man of Ulster can oppose her during the war's first 9 days and nights, so she advances upon her chariot to obliterate her enemies and obtain the Bull of Cooley. In opposition, however, one man still stands to face them, Cuchulainn, a warrior born from the land of youth.
Oh.
This hero, all on his own, tears into Maeve's army like butter, prompting her to negotiate. Furthermore, whenever Maeve encounters Cu, he manages to kill her pets and handmaidens by slinging stones. This intensifies her hatred of Ulster, going so far as to name the landscape after those who perish. Clearly, in order to advance, Cu must be dealt with. She sends Fergus to speak with his former pupil and arrange for one-on-one fights, saving her thousands of casualties per day. It is an agreement of honor to settle their dispute through masterful combat rather than a bloody onslaught. To rally brave warriors willing to fight Cu one-on-one, Maeve and Alil offer up the marriage of their daughter. To further obstruct Cu, Maeve lets loose Clan Calatin, a poisonous monster. Still, Cuchulainn excels at combat, gradually depleting Connacht of its champions. Maeve cares not for a warrior's honor, and secretly advances a band of raiders at night to capture the bull from the shadows. Even more deceptive, she sends Cu's foster brother, Ferdiad, into battle. Cuchulainn is forced to slay one of his closest friends. With Ferdiad's defeat, Cuchulainn has paved the way for Ulster's army to advance, forcing Maeve to retreat. This would have led to Ulster's victory, but Maeve's plotting tips the scales. By this time, she has already smuggled the brown bull of Cooley into Connacht. She presents her treasure to her husband and his white-horned bull, only for the 2 animals to begin killing each other. The death of these 2 animals emphasizes just how senseless the war had been. During her retreat, Cuchulainn captures Maeve for a time. While together, Maeve falls madly in love with her captor and tries to seduce him. However, he shows no interest, ultimately escorting her back to Connacht without shame as royalty. Because of this, Maeve is no longer concerned with her army's loss. Instead, she focuses on the one man in all of Ulster who denied her lust, gathering a second army exclusively to claim Cuchulainn by force, dead or alive. She invades Ulster once more, conspiring with others to strip Cuchulainn of his strength. They systematically force him to break his various geshes or self-affirmed vows of restraint. After falling for many of Maeve's traps, Cuchulainn is ultimately killed by being pierced by his own spear, the Gay Bolg. Refusing to die lying down, he ties himself to a post and meets his end with dignity. The same cannot be said for Maeve. Following that battle, her life is filled with marital strife. Alil, her jealous husband, murders Fergus, and she takes revenge by sending an assassin upon him. Eventually, her dreadful actions come crawling back to her, as Ferbida, her vengeful nephew, plans her demise. While Maeve bathes in a pool, Ferbida loads his sling with a particularly aged piece of cheese and fires it at her head. The dense projectile strikes and kills her mid-bath. In her absence, the throne of Connacht is succeeded by her son. Her corpse is buried upright at the summit of Knocknarea, aimed to face her enemies at Ulster. In death, Maeve has but 2 lingering wishes: to resolve her fixation with Cuchulainn, and to make all the superb men in history her lovers. Her demise leaves with it an infamous reputation in Ireland, as the Eternal Lady, perhaps a divine spirit of evil and insanity. This fame is enough for her to be recorded into the Throne of Heroes. In the modern era, the Chaldea Security Organization fights to save humanity from incineration by resolving various singularities created throughout history. One such singularity takes place in North America during the inception of the United States. Oddly enough, Queen Maeve is summoned here and winds up in possession of the Singularity's Holy Grail. With such vast power at her disposal, Maeve takes this chance to form an army of Celtic soldiers. From the seeds of countless men who made love to her, she is able to slice into her index finger and reproduce warriors from the spilt blood. Using the Grail, she summons forth other Irish heroes, such as Fergus MacRoic, Finn McCool, and Diarmuid to lead her armies in ravaging American land. Her greatest achievement, however, is summoning her beloved Cuchulainn in an altar form, manifesting from her desire for a wicked monarch like herself. Together, her forces conquer Eastern America, murdering George Washington and other key leaders of the time. To counter the growing threat, Chaldea's master, Ritsuka Fujimaru, bands together with the likes of Geronimo, Robin Hood, Thomas Edison, and Billy the Kid. Chaldea's resistance army feuds with Maeve's United American Army of Celtic heroes, until Maeve and Cuchulainn Altar are the last standing opponents. Ritsuka's party manages to slay them, but at the last minute, Maeve retaliates by summoning the demonic creature, Clan Calatin, before disappearing. Ritsuka is eventually able to procure Maeve's Holy Grail, resolving the singularity, and in the aftermath, she is summoned by Chaldea's fate system as an ally. Naturally, Maeve is not one to submit to others, and only considers Ritsuka a temporary master. Even then, she thinks little of the typical master-servant contract. Instead, she holds Ritsuka to the same standards as other men she lusts for. In battle, Maeve deploys a number of noble phantasms, each taken from the various men she slept with in life. Her most notable is Chariot My Love, my dear Iron Chariot, a ramming vehicle drawn by the two bulls from the cattle raid. If she succeeds in capturing an enemy, she will pull them inside her carriage, a reality marble in the form of a love nest. She effectively traps and makes love to her opponents, charming them to her side for a time. To further lure in men, she utilizes My Red Mead, my dear honey alcohol. No man can resist her invitation to drink such lovely nectar, and they have no choice but to join her ranks. Beyond that, she has Crowhor My Love, my dear future vision, which grants her the ability to see into the future. Lastly, she relies upon Fergus My Love, my dear rainbow sword, to rotate the heavens and skies. In a sense, she is mainly borrowing from her victims. Even as an ally for Ritsuka, Maeve can be found as a free servant in later singularities, such as a version of Ireland, upon which Chaldea holds a lavish racing event. Here, Maeve forms an underground prison, serving as its warden, while she captures Ritsuka's servants. Ultimately, Maeve is one of those heroic spirits driven by her passion, for better or worse. In the hands of a handsome and understanding master, she can be a charming asset for humanity.
Okay guys, so that's the end of this video, which is Fate Lore, the tale of Queen Maeve, and I think she is a very interesting historical figure, especially after hearing her backstory that she got so many lovers and husbands. And also she's so crazy in love with Cuchulainn, but Cuchulainn doesn't accept her love. And that's why the story of Fate Grand Order, she created this altar Cuchulainn. But aside from that, I really love Maeve's design in Fate Grand Order because she really looks so beautiful. I think she's one of the most beautiful servant in Chaldea too, especially when she's wearing that fluffy coat. But the fact that she got so many lovers and she wants to sleep with strong men, and that sounds very crazy. So thanks for the one who shared the link of the video in the comment section. I really appreciate it. It's a very informative video about Queen Maeve. And as usual, if you guys have another video that you want me to react to, just put in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you again on my next video and take care.